Hi, so let's take a look at XSLT tutorial 3, which is filtering XSLT ListView Webpart with Text Filter WebParts. In the first session, we covered how to create an XSLT ListView Webpart on a page, and now we're gonna see how we can apply filtering using the Text Filter WebPart and apply this filtering on the XSLT ListView Webpart. So this is all part of my blog, and I'm going to browse to my blog and take a look at this one, which is filtering XSLT ListView Webpart with Text Filter WebParts. Now let's get started with SharePoint Designer. Now in my SharePoint Designer so far, the only thing that I have done is I have a page, a master page. I have a content page, and I have a WebPart zone added to it, and finally I have XSLT ListView WebPart added to it. This is from the part 1 tutorial of XSLT. I click on browse, and you're going to see that this is all that it's got on it. So we're gonna go ahead and add a text filter on the top over here. Go back to Designer, scroll up, and find the WebPart zone where it starts from, right here. So this is where the WebPart zone starts from. Okay, I'm gonna scroll down, and this is where XSLT ListView WebPart starts from. So right in between this over here, I'm going to click on Insert, and again, all these buttons are grayed out. If you want to use them, go ahead and hit on Save first. And that's when they lighten up. Click on WebPart, and this time I'm going to go ahead and click on Text Filter WebPart. There are several different WebParts over here: Text Filter, SharePoint List Filter, Query Filter, and there are several different WebParts over here. I'm going to go ahead and use the Text Filter WebPart. And this adds this line of text over here, which is the filter WebPart. I'm going to scroll towards the right and just replace this with just regular simple names, which is last name. This filter is going to be on the last name. Okay, so right now what I have on my page is this filter over here, and I have XSLT ListView WebPart, starting from here all the way down till here. XSLT ListView WebPart, and all of this is contained within the WebPart zone, starting from here all the way till here. This is a WebPart zone. Okay, so now we're gonna see how we can go ahead and apply the filter, use the text filter and apply the filter on the XSLT ListView WebPart. Okay, so to start with, let's click anywhere inside the XSLT ListView WebPart. When I do this, I have all these different options in the ribbon, which are these ribbon buttons, and all of these apply to the XSLT ListView WebPart. So there's filter, there's sort and group, there's parameters, paging, add remove columns, add connections, and some of these other options over here. So we're gonna, now the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and create a parameter. A parameter in this case is just going to be an entry point into XSLT from outside. Okay, so which basically means that this parameter is going to be p_last name, and eventually this parameter is going to get its value from the text filter, which is just going to get the last name on which the XSLT ListView WebPart has to be filtered from the text filter. Now the second thing is I'm going to go ahead and apply a filter, and in this filter what I'm going to say is I'm configuring XSLT ListView Webpart to apply a filter on the field name, last name, which in my case is the title, and I'm saying that last name contains. Now this is where I'm going to use a parameter. Anything which is part of the parameter, which is p underscore last name. So this is going to be, this is the filter that the XSLT has, which is anything which is part of the parameter is going to be, the XSLT ListView Webpart is going to show only those names which last name contains the value which is stored in this parameter. Now let's go ahead and see. So far what we did is that we created a brand new parameter which is p underscore last name, and then the second thing we did after that was we configured the XSLT ListView Webpart to apply a filter on the title column, which is really the last name. On the title column, apply a filter which is a value of the p underscore last name parameter that we created. Now let's see where does the value of the parameter p underscore last name comes in from. So now I'm going to go ahead and connect the XSLT ListView Webpart with the Text Filter WebPart. Okay, so for this I click on Add Connections, and now what I'm going to say is that the XSLT ListView Webpart is going to get parameter from connect to a web part on this page, and the other web part on this page is the text web part that I'm trying to connect to. So it's smart enough to really get it because it's only at the web part, and the web part that I created, the text filter web part, is actually the last name. I actually had added last name as the filter name right here. Okay, so this is the filter name, and then the value is send filter to, and over here this is the column in the contact, which is a parameter p underscore last name, and this is the column in the last name text filter web part. So any value which is specified in the last name of in the text filter last name is going to be passed over to the parameter p underscore last name, which is going to be passed over to the XSLT ListView Webpart to be filtered upon it. Hit on next and hit on finish. And what it just did is it added this where clause over here, this query where clause over here, which is basically the title is filtered on p underscore last name parameter. Now let's go ahead and click on browse. So this is my last name text filter, and these are the values underneath there. I mean, there's nothing in there. Okay, so let's go back to the contacts over here, and I see that there are two values over here: Mohammed Samir, Samir Mohammed, and J Mohammed. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to my page and type in Mohammed in here and see what I get. Yes, so now it shows me only those records whose last name is Mohammed. So let's go back to contacts and let's go ahead and add some more names in here. Doe, and first name is going to be John. Let's go ahead and add some more in here using the quick edit, and it's going to be, the title is going to be Painter, and the first name is going to be Aaron, and there's going to be Doe, and there's going to be Jane. So I have two Does as the last name and one Painter. So let's go back to my page. I don't have the URL, so I'm going to click on back, try finding my way back, and yes, there it is. Click on refresh. And now take out Mohammed, and now I'm going to type in Doe. See what I get. Yes, I get Does. Type in Painter, and I get Painter. So this is how you integrate an XSLT ListView Webpart with with the text filter. Similarly, other web parts can also be used. Any of those other filter web parts can also be used with the XSLT ListView Webpart.